Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel, and I don't feel very well, so be gentle with me this morning. My big apologies. You can probably see by my appearance that it's not been the best of mornings. I've been in bed with a headache and then had a pop at trying to get all the screenshots up, which was a rather painful process, but kill or cure is what we're going to attempt here. And hopefully a little bit of energy into my body might cure everything. So we're going to have a good crack at the Championship review show for round 21. We had all bar 2 of our games take place yesterday with some COVID issues in the Bournemouth game and Rotherham and Millwall. I think I'm getting them the right way round, possibly. Middlesbrough is the other team involved in that. So we've got plenty to talk about as ever. Let me know that you can see me and hear me loudly and clearly. Hopefully StreamYard is not being incredibly irritating with the comments. Get everything going, Blur. I'm going to do my absolute best with this. Where do we go first? We say thank you to Russ, don't we? Help me along with this, guys, who is our fan sponsor for the show, a fan and now a friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. You can see, as ever, my plugs there. Reading along the bottom, you can support via Patreon, Super Chat, merchandise, etc., etc. Might need you guys to carry the show for me today. Let's have a little look at yesterday's results. As I say, a couple of games we lost to the dreaded COVID, but still 10 of them to talk about. It was Barnsley 2, Huddersfield 1, late win for Barnsley. Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Bournemouth and Millwall was indeed postponed, opening up potentially the top 3 with Bournemouth not playing. Bristol City 2, Wycombe 1. Wycombe lose tight game, insert date after. Cardiff 2, Brentford 3 in a rather eventful, spectacular game there. Coventry 0, Stoke 0. We called that one, didn't we? Derby 0, Preston 1 in the 97th minute. Middlesbrough versus Rotherham postponed, opening up potentially at the bottom of the table. But please see above, Derby 0, Preston 1 there. Rotherham stay where they want to be. Forest 0, Birmingham 0. We called that one as well, didn't we? QPR 0, Swansea 2. Up into second for the Swans. Reading 2, Luton 1. And in the evening, new manager bounce. Ahoy! If you believe in that stuff. Watford 1, Norwich 0. And that, my friends, is where we shall begin. What did Elvis Costello say? Oh, I just don't know where to begin. Well, we do know where to begin. And it is Watford 1, Norwich 0. A long undefeated record. Somebody help me out in the chat. How long had Norwich been unbeaten? Must have been well over 10 games, mustn't it? And they finally come a cropper at one of the fellow parachute cartel there. And it's Cisco Munoz's first game in charge for the Hornets. And he gets the 1-0 victory. And he recalls Troy Deeney as captain. Of course he does. There is Munoz's first Watford team there. Foster in goal. Firmino. Sirialta starts. Interesting. Who did Ivic used to play? Troost, Ekong and Kabasele. But it's Wilmot and Sirialta. So a totally new centre-back partnership there. And Gakia is left-back. Sema and Sarr wide. Kapue with Cleverly. So no Garner, no Chalobah selected by Munoz. Deeney and Andre Gray over, well, the other attacking options there. Paritza and João Pedro up top, despite not really firing this season, Andre Graham, not really firing in this game either. Norwich looking super, super strong now, other than Krul, Gibson, Quintia, but the team looks excellent, doesn't it? McGovern in goal, Aarons, Zimmerman, Hanley, Sørensen, Skip and McLean, Rupp on the bench. Buendia, Dowell, Cantwell, Pookie. Sounds pretty effective at championship level, doesn't it? But not in this game, sadly, for the Canaries. Here is the goal. You can see Ken Sema, number 12. I thought both, very surprising in Max Aaron's case, both Norwich fullbacks were pretty poor for this goal. Aaron's stands Sema up into the box, but somehow, I don't know, the cross kind of goes right through Aaron's all the way across. McGovern into that no man's land there. And Sar's going to be coming in at the far post, and Sørensen has just let him have the yard for the tap in there, hasn't he? I mean, it's easy to criticise, isn't it? You can say good cross, good run, or you can say stop the cross, pick up the runner. Is your glass half full? Is your glass half empty? And the numbers tell us a couple of, particularly for Andre Gray, a couple of other very reasonable chances for Watford in this one. So as we'd expect, forget that there's a new manager there, but in the context of these two teams this season, Norwich with the possession, lots of shots, 3 on target, no big chances. Watford, 1 on target, 3 big chances. I know which is more sustainable, and it's the other way round over a lot of games. But in game, play the game state, and Watford get the victory. Let me know if you watched this one. I was watching Emma, the movie, with my missus. So I didn't. I haven't seen this other than the short highlights package I've just watched preparing this morning. If you're a Norwich fan, you wouldn't particularly be too worried, I guess. With this, it's been a superb run. Look, 21 games, 43 points, still over the 2 points per game. They've lost away at one of the 3 year one parachute teams. It's kind of whoop-de-doo, isn't it? All the players are coming back. Krul has signed a new contract. It's just a matter of getting through January without any significant departures. So this is not enough to worry you, I don't think, if you're a Norwich fan. It might be enough to make you optimistic, though, if you're a Watford fan. And I suppose, can we be heading towards all 3 of the year one parachute teams having a title race between them? Who knows? It depends. If Norwich pick up where they left off and go on another long winning undefeated run, then they'll be hard to catch. But you would assume we may see that from one or other of Watford and Bournemouth as well in the remaining 25 games. So good start for Munoz. I guess it'll probably be a short blip for Norwich, and they have more and more of their excellent players coming in. Let's have a look here. Look, yes, there's yesterday there wasn't enough support behind Pookie. Don't know what it was. Pookie looked visibly frustrated how long it took others to join in when holding the ball up. Interesting. True fast. Sarr is definitely the most valuable player in the league. Without him, Watford are poor. Definitely very, very effective here. Norwich could do with Hernandez or Placheta back. Buendia, that's a fair point. The balance there. And they have got pacey dribblers with Placheta. And that might be the fair point. The balance of the 3 off the front. First time I've seen a Norwich game this season where the ref doesn't do them a massive favour. They had a soft penalty shout on Pookie. Norwich have had these decisions go their way all season. Think of that what you will. Gray had a good game, missed a couple of chances, but pulled the Norwich defence. Yeah, I didn't watch it. All I saw was the couple of big missed chances. So lost to Luton 7 games. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair comment. They've been in pretty handy form though for 10, 15 games. Indeed, I think. I've got all the comments on that one in. I promise it wasn't too much booze. I had some booze yesterday, but I stopped really, really early. As others said, Watford have a powerful team, maybe not as pretty as Norwich or Bournemouth, but could get on a roll if Deeney gets on with the manager. Yeah, indeed. A game with 65% possession as the away team and 16-7 shots. It's not a game you should lose. This is Farco, by the way. But we did, and I think the reason we lacked a bit of intensity and sharpness. You would think if they play that way against most of the Championship, they'll beat most of the other teams. You know, Watford have got a lot of quality. Ken Sema, really important to Watford, provided the assist. So, yeah, I thought that the pair of them, Firmino and Sema, when I saw them, in the flesh. So there we go. Yeah, 16 shots, but to be honest, Foster had nothing to do with it. That's the thing, it's chance quality, isn't it? And Norwich are a beautiful passing team, beautiful team in possession, but sometimes old school 4-4-2 and a winger will create a much clearer chance with a flash of magic. Russ says, all about the bounce back. Yeah, Norwich will be fine, won't they? Like I say, the only thing that could derail them now is, look, there you go. QPR at home next. I think the bounce back will be fine. The only thing that could derail Norwich is a mad run by Watford and Bournemouth, frankly, or somehow, some way, one or other or both of Buendia and Pukki not in the team for extended periods of the rest of the season, which just hasn't been the case ever since they've been there. They've played all the time, those two, haven't they? So, like I say, probably enough to make you optimistic if you're a Watford fan, but not really enough to worry you if you're a God, I suck today. Dan, I'm trying my best, guys. Get well soon. McGovern staying in goal for the rest of the season would. All I'd say to that, Russ, is take a look at the points per game. Well, McGovern's been in the team and extrapolate it over 46 and you'll probably get over 90, I suspect. But I can't wait for Krill to be back. He's close, isn't he, Russ, I think? But yeah, obviously, Krill's brilliant, isn't he? Awful defending for the goal and never really threatened the Watford. It was strange, wasn't it? That cross going through Aaron's. He's probably the best fullback in the division. Someone will throw up. I can't give you a top 5, which is normally my criteria, but definitely one of the best fullbacks in the league, isn't he? So, but there we go. It is what it is. Right. Moving on. That's our first one done. Where are we going next, guys? Because we can't cover Bournemouth, but hey, we don't need to because Bournemouth are not second anymore because it was QPR 0, Swansea 2. Get your comments in on this one. Steve Cooper does the job there, and look at the big chances for. There's a archetypal team doing really well against the team struggling. Look, 3 big chances apiece, and the game ends 2-0. And yeah, killer. Jamal Lowe and Andre Ayew doing the business, and maybe I'm wrong that they need a striker in January. Maybe they don't. There's your Swansea team there: Woodman, Kabungo, Bennett, Guay, Bidwell and Roberts wide, Fulton, Grimes, Dander, Ayew and Lowe up top. I think the Rangers fans debunked that it wasn't a back 3 yesterday, but let me know if it is. I mean, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They lost, but it would be a change of shape, although I'm sure Jeff Cameron, he has played centre-half before, hasn't he? So Dieng, Dickey and Barbe, Hammerlinen and Kane, give or take where Cameron plays, either makes it a back 4 or a back 3. Carroll and Bull, Bon, Chair, Dykes. I'm guessing that's Chair off Bon and Dykes as a front 2. And Bond did miss, I think it's a headed chance in the first half of this one. And typically, you can see the two players there getting in one another's way. If one of them goes to the ball and one of them stays either with Mayhew or in the middle of the goal, he doesn't get a free header into the middle of the goal from 2 yards, does he? Just before half-time. And against such a good defensive team as Swansea, you're struggling then. Good goal again by Jamal Lowe. We're looking for evidence that he's wearing number 9 on his back. Converted striker, but composure there. Dribbles it through from, 30, 40 yards out and has the finish there. Obviously, he's hot favourite to score that goal. Again, looking at the numbers, though, Rangers should have scored in this game with the 3 big chances missed, but did not manage to do so. And Swansea just do the job, don't they? And they continue to do the job there. 39 points off 21. So can't match Norwich for the 2 points per game. But hey, that total, look, you do the maths. Add another 39 on over the next 21 games, leaves you at 78 points with 4 games to go, which, depending on what Bournemouth, Brentford and Watford you'd expect to, no offence to Reading Stoke, may be enough, but we think it might be mid 80 points, maybe high 80 points for the top 2 this season, and I suspect someone will hit the magic 92. Possibly more than one team will get 90 points this season. We'll see. So Swansea may sadly be in the wrong place at the wrong time this season and score a load of points and end up in the playoffs. But brilliant stuff from them. And is that 12 clean sheets, I think? 12 clean sheets in 21 games. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the number, which is fab. I'll shut up about Swansea and say QPR really suck at the moment, don't they? Let's have a look at the last 10 or so. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 without a win. 3 points in 8 as well is really, really poor form. And the really strange thing is I'm pretty sure going into that 8 without a win, they've got 10 points in 5. So they've really fallen off a cliff. And now you can see Warburton moving away from the 4-2-3-1 and starting to, when you see the manager throwing some stuff at the wall and hoping that some of it sticks, you worry. And away to Norwich next as well. So it may get worse before it gets better. And if I bring the table back up, there was a sense a few weeks ago that it was the 3 promoted teams from League One, wasn't it? And Forest, Derby and Sheffield Wednesday, who we all expect to improve. But now QPR have been usurped by Coventry, 3 points off them, and look like a bona fide member of that bottom 6, just depending on can Rotherham and Wickham make a feasible challenge towards 40, 45 points. But there'll still be another relegation place up for grabs, even if those 2 don't manage to do so. Let's see what you lot are saying in the comments. Swansea certified cartel killers. Love it. Tremendous stuff. What have we got here? Another good win for the Swans. Clean sheet number 12. There you go. I was right, Steve. QPR played well first half. Missed the odd chance. And you know that if you do miss the chance, Swansea will go ahead and keep the clean sheet, don't you? So I just had the Just Eat advert on. A long Snoop Dogg chat the other day. Poor from QPR, clinical from Swansea, exactly. All they need to do well this season. Indeed. Jamal Lowe looking really nice. All that needs to be said, really. Shocking QPR, not looking good. I'd be worried. Warburton on the way out, but the club is rotten to the core. Needs a new ownership to push us forward. If Swansea get a lone striker plus Gibbs White back, watch out, because the best manager, better than Farker, Chris, I don't know, Cooper's very good. Obviously, maybe a similar position to Farker in 18-19. Let's see what he can do. But yeah, very impressive, Steve Cooper, isn't it? And let's see him start to get linked with the Premier League jobs that inevitably start to come up at some point. So we can't do Bournemouth because they didn't play. They're still on a nice unbeaten run, and obviously they can, I guess they'll look at it as they're 5 points behind Norwich now, but with a game in hand. So they'll look at it as a good day, even if Swansea did go past them. But let's have some fun now and do Cardiff versus Brentford, which was 3-2 to Brentford, which includes a goal from the halfway line or inside his own half, a brilliant hat-trick by Sergi Canos, a comeback, all sorts of good stuff in this one to talk about. A strong-looking Brentford team, that, isn't it? Raya, Dalsgaard, Janssen, Pinnock, Henry, really good back five there. Marcondes, Janel, Jensen, so Norgard still to come back. They've all come back to fitness now, haven't they, at the same time? And Buemo, Tony, and we said there seems to be a gaping Ben Rama-shaped hole. Well, look there, that's filled by Sergi Canos, and he's got 3 goals yesterday. So a Ben Rama-like performance from Canos, wasn't it? For Cardiff, Smithies in goal, Bennett, Nelson, Morrison, Bakuna, Rolls and Volks is the double pivot. Volks going to, well, we'll talk about him in a sec. Hoyle, Wilson, Ojo, Glatzel up front, still no big Kiefer. And take a bow, Joe Rules, because you're going to get Will Volks, not Joe Rules, sorry. You're going to get 2 pictures here because there is definitive evidence. Do a Cardiff one of these teams that do 6 yards, 6 yards for each stripe on the pitch? I know some clubs do, don't they? Looks like they are actually. So that is absolutely miles out, and he hits it so well. And look where that's going to land. Wow. I don't think we can even question David Raya. It was such a good shot from Volks from inside his own half. And then take over Sergi Canos. Look at that for some technique there, facing away from the goal. Very interesting high volley. Zidane against Leverkusen, anybody? Maybe not quite as aesthetically beautiful as that one, but volleys that over the head of Smithies in the goal. That's probably the best of the 3. But believe me, the other 2 are really good. This is 2-1. Canos dribbling inside. Maybe I can see Tony, Morrison and Nelson all in Smithies' way there, and he manages to find the near post, Canos. And this is a beaut as well for the 3rd one. Just a little chip over Smithies' head there, maybe when the cross is going to be expected. Smithies not that far off his line, but quite far forward to the near post, and Canos manages to find the far post. Well, I know us Ipswich fans say Dalian Atkinson against Middlesbrough, but call me a better hat-trick than that. Superb stuff by Canos. A bit of a muggy goal to get one back. Volks, look, everyone's in the box. Can you see Ivan Toney there? That's going to deflect off him and into the corner. But Brentford hold out for the win, and their superb run goes on. They move up into 4th position. Only 3 defeats now for the Bees. And they're level on points with Bournemouth, obviously, with the game in hand. And, I mean, I've said for a while, look, it's going to be really, really hard for, you know, if you finish above one of the parachute cartel, you've done well. If you finish above 2 of them, you're probably going to get automatic promotion this season, aren't you? Brentford look like they're having a good go at a challenge now. If you're a Bees fan, you're really going to want Brooks or a King or a Buendia or a Cantwell or an Aarons or a Sarr or whoever to leave one of the parachute cartel. Plus, you to keep all your players and for them all to stay fit. I don't know. Would someone take a punt on Tony for 25 million or something this early? I don't know. But maybe the fee, if it was astronomical, that might. But I guess it's injuries now. that might derail Brentford and the Parachute Cartel. But look at the recent form. Let's just take away the EFL Cup win. And that goes back, I think it's like 12 or 13 unbeaten. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, 3 draws in the last 9. 6 wins, 3 draws. That's 21 points in 9. That's very impressive form from Brentford. And I mean, who have they played in that time? Maybe that's a mitigating factor, but they have played Watford, I guess. I mean, I suppose look at the last 3, Watford, Reading and Cardiff. But look, next, Brentford versus Bournemouth. That sounds juicy, and we'll be doing that as a watch-along at 5:30. I don't even know what day of the week that is. On Wednesday. What day of the week is it? Is it now? There we go. So yeah, juicy Brentford. Very impressive. Will one of the Parachute Cartel cede their territory? Let's just say we'll find out. Swansea as well. We've got to include them in there. Cardiff, just all over the place. 4 straight wins now. Loss, win, loss, and they're back in 12th. I suspect there's money for a loan if they want to do it in January, but the model does seem to be, 2 or 3 million quid on Kiefer Moore or whatever that fee was, maybe less than that, and Ojo, Osai Tutu, and Wilson on loan. Let's have a look at your comments on that one. How high can we go there? Let's have a look. Am I the only one that thought the Cardiff keeper should have done better on at least 2 of the goals? Possibly the third one, Sloth. I think there's people in his way for the second one. But yeah, fair point. First week back in the UK in months, and boy did Cardiff and Brentford deliver. Nice. I would have liked to have watched that one. Brentford seem to be a very well-run club. They do manage to get promoted. I feel they will establish themselves. I can see that. Bits, yeah, very long plan. It's just so hard. And I know I'm a broken record when 3 teams drop in with 45 million quid of good FFP money paid into their bank account and mainly Premier League squad. It's very, very, very difficult, isn't it? Brentford unbeaten in 15 in SF of LC, and visually the best team in the Championship will win the league. Oh, there we go. I'd resign myself to the 3 Premier League teams already being locked in as the top 3. They're also strong, but Brentford and Swansea are having a good go, aren't they? You just worry about I don't know, just 1 or 2 key injuries to a Brentford will have an impact when it. Problem with Brentford is what they will do in January. Make no mistake, Premier League teams towards the bottom will throw money at Tony. Yeah, and they've shown they're happy to sell before. Brentford showing they're on strong. They don't churn, they steamroll. Indeed. Will Brentford become a threat at the end of the season? Quite probably. Plus, Norgard has hardly played, and they have top Championship scorer. Harris, obviously not a Kenyos fan. We throw 3 goals into our own net in the space of 20 minutes and leave ourselves with a mountain to climb. We've actually thrown 3 into the goal. And we do need to remember, while we're talking about this, Will Volk scored from inside his own half. What a goal. That would normally be the main story in this game, but Sergi Canos has gazumped him. He's worn a white dress to Will Volk's wedding there, hasn't he? What third we've done? Let's go to Reading. It's just quite impressive, Reading, how they keep managing to churn this out. And I will just flash down that far. John Swift returns yesterday on 67 minutes. So that's great news in the absence of some key players injured for the Royals. And they get the win. Good job by Reading there. So remember, Raphael, I'll read through the team and tell you who the key missing players are. Raphael, Estevez, so Holmes in no more now for a while. Morrison, McIntyre, no Richards for a while. Laurent Renamotor, Ejaria, Semedo, Aluko, Baldock, no Zhao, no Maite. So my argument, that would be, for example, that would be, I know Norwich had a lot of injuries, but that would be Aaron's, Buendia, Pookie, and, I don't know, Zimmerman out from Norwich all at the same time. And it's when they're key players that's the real issue, isn't it? For Luton, Shea, Craney, Lockyer, Bradley, Potts, Ray, Clark, Berry, and Panzu, Moncur, Collins. Get your comments in on this one. Good job for Reading. Hopefully these comments are still working. StreamYard has been very irritating, so I apologise if it stops. I will double check on my phone, although I haven't seen one. Good. There's one. Comes through right on time. Thank you, Lock. Yes, there we go. Hope you had a good Christmas. We'll be smoking lots of fags. Nice. Leeds playing at the moment, which means Patricia is smoking. There's the opening goal. Lovely goal, this one. Nicely worked set play. That's McIntyre on the near post. You can see number 5 slams that in on the full volley. Lovely goal. I actually think this one is even better. Go out your way to see this one. Lovely move there. Completely sliced through. A little ball round the corner, and then Semedo and Baldock exchange passes. Bear that one in mind for your goal of the day, although most people have just stopped at Will Volks from the halfway line, weren't they? Little bit of a scare at the end for Reading. Lualua should not be scoring from there, should he? And it bounces in front of Raphael. It's a very strange Raphael, because sometimes he looks like the son of Gordon Banks, doesn't he? And then sometimes he lets a weird one in. But hey, there's a reason why these players are playing in the Championship and not at the top level. And if he always saved everything, then he would be playing at the top level, wouldn't he? He may still. But yeah, bit of a one through the hands, I think, for Raphael there. But Reading get the win nonetheless. It's a Paunovic special, that one, isn't it? 2 shots on target, and a two-goal haul for the win. Only one big chance for Luton, though. So a very much a Reading Paunovic performance, isn't it? Excellent work by him again. And look, they were top, weren't they? With 7 wins and a draw from the first 8. And let's be honest, a lot of us expected by now there'd be 9th or 10th or something, and the drop-off will be natural. They're 6th. And there's 2 more games to go until we're at the halfway point. And if he's got them in the top 6 at the halfway point, that's a really good job by Paunovic. Let's not forget where Reading have been like for the last 3 seasons. Relegation trouble under, oh God, what was that guy's name? Jose Gomez. And then Bowen had a really good run, but they were still, where did Reading finish? What, like 14th or something? I can't remember. But that's a really, really good job. They just need, obviously, to get Richards, Moore, Zhao and Maite back. Luton are sliding, aren't they? Let me just bring up the last 10 games or so for Luton. They need to stick a couple of wins on the board. There it is on the right-hand side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games there. 2 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4 draws. So, yeah, 10 points from 10 games. Well, you'll continue to slide, but they'll be fine. Need to throw a couple of wins into the mix there. The Hatters, don't they? What have we got in the comments here? Put respect on Pauno's name. 7 players that would be in that first team lineup. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Do you think the Reading will stay around the playoffs at the end of the season, or will they collapse to mid? It would need to be a collapse now, wouldn't it? I can see them finishing somewhere between 5th and 10th, depending on how soon they can get those key players back, doesn't it? Reading very much impressive. As much as I hate to say it, they just churn the results out, don't they? The Black Knight reminding Reading FC it's just a flesh wound. I don't get that reference, but I'm sure it's right on the mark of its delayed pilot. With all the injuries, they are still up there, so we won't collapse. We'll see. Impressive job, though, isn't it? Grateful for any points. Well, more Maite, Zhao out. Raphael on thin ice, really. Okay. Zhao and Richards nearly. Oh, great news there. And great to see Swift as well. And it's really interesting because he won't play Swift in the double pivot, will he? And there's a chance if everybody's fit, he's got Ejaria, Elise, Semedo, Swift, and he plays Maito there. 5 players for that 3 positions off the front, assuming Zhao is the number 9. So excellent. Reading needs squad depth to get promotion. We need work in January, or they just need to be lucky with injuries, don't they? And let's call it as it is. They're not being very lucky with injuries at the moment, are they? Indeed. Quick plug: you can super chat at any point during the broadcast if you do indeed want to support my work here as I battle through. I'm feeling okay at the moment. This is Kill or Cure. I just hope I don't collapse in a heap after we finish today. Where are we going next, guys? Stoke, who, as we predicted, and I'm coining a new joke now about 7th place Stoke, just destined to be there far into the universe. But they're so hard to beat, Stoke, and they keep so many clean sheets. I think they're clean sheet for clean sheet with Swansea, aren't they, as the top clean sheet keeper in the division. But they just never quite do enough to get into the top 6. And I sit here week after week. It's just they'll get there in the end. I still think they will, actually. However, put a Clucas and a Tyrese Campbell in that team, and they are a top 6 team. But just so many sort of nil-nils and draws per se. There are your teams in this one. Coventry there, Wilson, Ostigard, McFadden, Hyam, Sheaf, McCallum, Darbo, Wide, Hamer, Allen, O'Hare, Godden. For Stoke there, Bursick back after Lonergan. Oh, well, I think Bursick might have been cup-tied in that League Cup game, possibly. Did Lonergan appear somewhere else? Pass. Collins, Suter, and Chester as a back 3. McLean and Smith. Why McLean is so useful, isn't he? Just stick him anywhere on the pitch and he'll do your job. Thompson, Cousins, Powell, Brown, and Fletcher is the lineup. I've got one still from this one, but not much in it. I believe that's Cousins who really, if you look at the position of Wilson, the Coventry keeper, really should be finding the far corner with that one, or pulling a deliberate handball out of the defender on the line. He hits into the ground, it bounces up and hits the bar. So I often say this in tight games. Does that constitute enough to win a clean sheet and missing a big chance? No, you tell me in the comments. And you can see, one big chance. So fair dues to Stoke, because although this form does not win you automatic promotion, it makes you a damn hard playoff opponent. It really does. If, for example, Stoke finished 6th and got one of the parachute cartel finishing in 3rd, then you would back them to get at least one clean sheet in the 2 playoff games, wouldn't you? Look on the bench there as well. Joe Allen returning. So some real quality in that Stoke squad. Let's see what they do in the second half of the season. Let's just talk Coventry briefly, because they've had a really good run. Now, my concern for a while with Coventry is that this is a great run, and they've now put a 7-point gap in. Tremendous stuff. We know exactly what Robbins is going to do. Nothing will likely happen in January other than Norwich might recall McCallum. Are they allowed to? That can be the only thing that I could see weakening Coventry, unless someone offers them 12 million quid for Gus Hamer as a punt. The worry is if they, can replicate that in the second half and whether it will be enough. I suspect it might be. I mean, look, they're already on course for 46, which is the point per game, which we think will be enough. The only issue for Coventry is if you get a situation where perhaps, and I won't name them, but perhaps 2 teams might be around the 30, 35 points. And then you get a 3 or 4 team battle where someone is indeed relegated with 45 to 50 points. That would not work in Coventry's favour. Coventry want whipping boys and 3 teams down there, and that they can get, significantly clear of them. But they're on target to stay up for sure, aren't they? Just the worry is, and it may not happen, but we all sit here every week expecting Wednesday, Derby and Forest to edge their way towards the 45, 46 points that normally keeps you up. But hey, we'll see what happens this season. And we'll see what you're saying in the comments on that one. Most clean sheets away and lowest away conceded in the league. We just don't have the same threat without Campbell. We were the better team, but only 1 shot on target with all the chances we created. Good point for us. 7 above the drop, 1 loss in 10. I'd definitely take it New Year. Agreed. Another clean sheet as well. Need to find more goals. 2 goals in the last 5 from Stoke. Toothless without Campbell. Stoke will make the playoffs when Michael, Clucas, Allen, etc. back. And we did see Joe Allen. Great day that yesterday. Allen, we'll talk about Dak as well, and Swift all coming back. Really, really good. 3 non-parachute cartel clubs with excellent players all coming back. We might have to take some points off as rent the way it's going. There we go. There speaks a Birmingham fan. Stoke should finish just outside the playoffs, while Coventry should stay up. There you go. No change if that happens. I just wanted to pick up on actually Blow's other comment. We always have 1 mid-table team challenging for promotion every year. Cardiff in 17-18, Norwich in Sheffield United and Brentford. Yeah, I suppose they would have all been slated as possible mid-table teams at the start of the season, wouldn't they? So maybe COVID will put paid to that, or maybe Reading. Maybe Reading is that team that we wouldn't have expected to finish higher than mid-table, and they end up there in or around the playoffs. And I'll just read, that's another good comment there from Blow. Peterborough and Wolves with the high points. Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't get the whipping. When you get 2 whipping boys and the teams are above them are able to whip the whipping boys, and you get an artificially high third from bottom number. We sometimes do get bunching in the division. Sometimes you'll get 3 teams run away with it or 3 whipping boys. Doesn't tend to be more than 3 though, ever. Or apart from that one crazy season when Ipswich finished in the playoffs. And I think Wolves that season missed out with like 77 points or something crazy like that. And the entire top 8 scored loads and loads of points. Let's move on. Where are we going next? Middlesbrough did not play. COVID. So game in hand, bit of a rest. I don't know whether Warnock will see that as a blessing or a curse. And with no surprise whatsoever, Wycombe lose tight game. Bless them. Is that patronising? Sorry, I take that back. But Wycombe just always lose tight games, don't they? And yesterday it was at Bristol City who, I mean, that says big chances won there for Bristol City. But I think with their finishing hats on, from the highlights package I saw, they did not really take their chances in this one. And maybe it's clearer than, I don't know. That's what my eye test said on the highlights. Maybe they were stacked in Bristol City's favour, the ones I saw. Although I try not to watch the actual club highlights if there's an option, because they do tend to just show you all the chances for the club that they're representing. But there's your Bristol City team. Now, help me out, Bristol City fans, because I can see Viner going off there and O'Dowda. Is there more injury problems there? Bentley in goal, Hunt, Viner, Callis, Rowe, O'Dowda, Naj, Backinson, Wells, Martin, Semenyo. Seems to be the solution at the moment for Dean Holden without a Patterson or a Mawson. I think he wanted to play 3 at the back, didn't he? But ho-hum. Wycombe, I call it the half defence, half attack. Allsop, Grimmer, Knight, Charles, Jacobson with Thompson there. And then a load of runners and dribblers. Onyedin, Mahorgan, McClary, Cashgett, and Akin Fenwa as sort of your muscle up top. Let's have a look at the goals. A classic Chris Martin, back post header there. Lovely stuff. You can see O'Dowda has just hung that up to the far post. Martin does what he's been doing for years and nods it in at the back stick. Like I say, a couple of chances on the highlights package I saw for Bristol City. And, well, we talk about deflections every week. It is a good tactic when the box is loaded to just get a shot off from the corner of the box. Who's that going to hit? Zach Viner, I think, and deflect in. Bentley can't see anything. And teams really do just need to get wise with their defensive shape, that sometimes it's better to have less defenders in there and not risk the deflection. Close the ball, close the man. You don't just want these spare bodies all in the way, because we see every week we see deflected goals in the Championship, don't we? This is a great finish, that. It falls to Jeju off the bench. He's proving to be quite a good sub this season. And where do you want to put that? He slams it into the top corner with his right foot. Great finish by Famara Jeju. And Wycombe lose out in a tight game. Again, no big chances, one shot on target. And we can peddle the same narrative for Wycombe, who are down at the bottom there, that they lose tight games, they don't score enough goals, they don't win enough games. That may obviously due to be or be down to club size, of course. We understand that and resources. I'm just saying that's been the pattern, sadly, for Wycombe down there, who are now 4 points adrift, and Derby have one game in hand on 16 points. Rotherham have 2. So not looking good for the chairboys down there. Bristol City, you have to include Holden in with Paunovic on a job pretty well done so far. He's only 3 points off the playoffs. And I'm sorry, Bristol City, new manager, at any point, 3 points off the playoff, that's one game essentially, is decent, isn't it? Lots of wins, lots of defeats, not many draws, and lots of injuries. So I think he's doing a pretty handy job at the moment. Holden, Viner and O'Dowda injured. O'Dowda, that's good news. But Viner, they're already short in defence, aren't they? You wonder at what point Wycombe will lose hope and these competitive performances trouble. Hopefully they won't, because that would be sad to see. But when we saw at the start of the season the 7 straight defeats, you just got to hope if they do go down, they can pocket some money. It's a bit unfair on Wycombe, isn't it? Because this is the one season where you can't pocket any money, isn't it? Okay, you get there is a jump up in TV money, obviously, but the stadiums are empty, and all of that money they could have made, it is what it is. It feels a bit unfair, doesn't it? Ainsworth said it already. The quality of the performance, Wycombe can stay up or at worst be there come game week 46, but need to start scoring. Yeah, and that's the thing. If they're in with a chance with 5 games or 3 games or even one game, well, one game to go would be ideal, wouldn't it? But it's a struggle at the moment. Ben, who's a Wycombe fan, our only hope is that Ainsworth can work wonders in the loan market. To be honest, in the summer, we recruited League One players, and as long as we're stronger for it next season, we'll all be happy. Absolutely. Half time at least. What's the score, Annie? Wycombe remind me of us at the start of last season. Oh, under Stendhal. Yeah. Tight games and losing. Obviously, Wycombe don't have much money to spend in January. Looks like they're doomed, but I wonder if they can get someone in to improve things at least slightly in the window. Wycombe are 4 or 5 players short of turning competitiveness into wins at least. They will know what's required if they ever promote again. I wanted to read another of Annie's comments. Thing is, Ben, Hull and Wigan weren't whipping boys last season, and Charlton got relegated. Well, Hull were whipping boys for half a season, weren't they? But not the whole season. Agree with that. And no, you're right. Wigan weren't. Wigan were excellent. So yeah, we had a high tide, but that was one where everyone went, didn't it? Which is the other way you can get an artificially high total, where the tide rises for everyone. Obviously, that is a possibility. Don't see it happening this season. We'll do a couple more. One from Tom there. Holden can't really do much more than the years. The tactics are the same over. Nothing changes. We'll never go up playing how we are. Hope something changes when 11 out come back. Indeed. The only slight worry now with Bristol City as well, and I've praised them to the ends of the earth for their recruitment, that there's always been a Lloyd Kelly or an Adam Webster or a Bobby Reid ready to sell to finance the next season. You just worry now. Okay, Backinson's really good, isn't he? But is he 25 million quid Adam Webster? Not yet. So you just worry that player is not quite there. We need to improve our creativity. Yeah, Patterson for sure. That's a miss, isn't it? And you see this when, even a Stoke who's had a ton of injuries, but just have that bit more depth. And Norwich obviously have way more depth. And Norwich have managed to stay top with a whole ton of injuries, haven't they? So it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one this season, above all. Where are we going next, guys? Oh, Barnsley up into 10th position with a late win yesterday, coming from behind, in fact, to beat Huddersfield with, would you believe it, Michael Hellick double, the centre-half scoring 2 there in a game of 3 set play goals. There's your Barnsley team. Walton, Solbauer, Hellick, Anderson, Styles, Britton, James, Mowat, Freeser, Chaplin, Woodrow. And there's your Huddersfield team. Pippa, Edmonds, Green, Sarr, Toffolo in front of Schofield, Eiting, Hogg, O'Brien, Bakuna, Campbell, and Benza. And I think we'd all agree, 2 teams doing well with what they've got, that when they can play decent football and have very solid and stable selections. Let's have a look at the goals. They're not that pleasing on the eye, but I suppose the first one's a well-worked corner, isn't it? And Edmonds Green's going to put it in. They did play it around the corner, but it is still ultimately... Oh, no, I'm doing them a disservice there. Huddersfield, it's a well-worked corner, and Edmonds Green, you can see they're just prodding it in from about 3 yards out. This was an absolute mess, wasn't it? A short corner. And do you know, I think, is that Naby Sarr on the line? Possibly. I think he actually kicks it against Hellick, and then it comes back. It doesn't hit the net or anything, but it goes over the line, and Hellick, making a nuisance of himself, gets the goal. And a long throw-in, nicely worked, free header and a karate kick home there. It looks like Edmonds Green himself has lost Hellick there for the late winning goal. And look, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the recipe for your playoff dark horse is a stable team with a strong selection and a little core of good players. So either of these teams do have that. It's just how consistent can they be, and can they put on 25 points from 14 games or something to make a challenge, either of them, or will they both stay somewhere in the middle? There's the table. In fact, let's just quickly look at Barnsley's form, because Barnsley's form is really decent, actually, isn't it? Actually, it's excellent. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in 7 for Barnsley and 6 wins in 10. So what's that? 18 points in 10. So 1.8. How far are they off? Barnsley. They're 5 points off. I think if you'd have said to any Barnsley fan when Struber was finding his way out and a new manager coming in, you're going to have a nice climb up the table. And, I mean, look at the key number there. 15 points off relegation, Barnsley. And also, we should say for Huddersfield, 11 points off. 12 points off, which is a worst case scenario for both of these clubs, isn't it? So both doing very nicely. 4 wins in 5. That puts Barnsley up with Norwich as the form team, I think, in the league. 12 points from the last 5 games. Impressive stuff from the Tykes. What are you guys saying in the comments? On this one, Aaron says, Barnsley have no draws under Ismail. Our biggest opponent is on the horizon, the January transfer window. Yeah, and Barnsley, like Brentford, not to the same quality as Brentford have managed to do it, are happy to sell, aren't they? And have been. And you just worry, don't you? Remember that year with Heckingbottom when Hurahan and Winnall and Bree, and was there one other? They just sold all their good players in January, didn't they? And away it went. But yeah, if you've got a Woodrow or a Chaplin or a Mowat, Styles particularly as well, some good players there that if you're a parachute team and you lose a player, off you go to Barnsley and try and pick up a replacement for half of what you received for who came in. Ismail has a 65% win ratio, spectacular. Needed the board to support him, and that's been an issue, Tyler, hasn't it, with the Barnsley board? They've been criticised by their fans for that. Ismail said he wants a centre-back And a striker. Who did I see linked? Carlton Morris, who is at Norwich on loan at MK. And there you go, Carlton Morris linked. Good to see an old-fashioned centre-back score the goals. Well, we do have the great Sean Morrison in this division, don't we? Some fans don't rate Hellick, but I thought he was a good signing. Jed, I've seen him play once in the flesh, and he got sent off. So I need a greater viewing, but don't we all in closed door times? Anything else? Eli says we sold all of those players under the old ownership. Okay, fair point. And our new owners have said they'd never sell all our best players at once. So I can't see it happening. I hope it doesn't. I really, really hope it doesn't. Fair point. The only thing stopping us from trying to get top six is we can't beat the teams above us. There we go. I think, have I done everything? Edward there says, I feel bad for Huddersfield. Both teams were bad and 1 point would have been fair. Right. Where are we going next? Blackburn. And I make the meh noise already. I saw a good feed by my friend Jay, who's on Twitter as Blades Analytic. Some of you probably follow him, asking Championship fans who was underachieving. And the name Tony Mowbray, I love Tony Mowbray. I'm an Ipswich fan, for goodness sake. Of course I love Tony Mowbray. But the name Tony Mowbray did come up. And yet again, Blackburn, with their excellent attacking players, struggle against a low block and can't beat Sheffield Wednesday with 71% possession and 16 shots. Pulis ball, everybody. You've got to love it. But great news, though, and I'm sure you'll all agree that we're very happy to see Bradley Dack back, who's been a Championship star. And we want some of these non-parachute teams to actually have their star players fit and firing. So good luck to Bradley Dack. I wonder if he can change their fortunes there. Maybe against a low block, a player like Bradley Dack is just what you need. Kaminsky for Rovers in goal there. Nyambe, Lenihan, Ayala and Douglas. So Ayala returns. He was out last game. Rothwell, Johnson, he covered him so he can move back into central midfield. And Holtby. Gallagher, did he play down the middle? I wouldn't have thought. But hey, maybe that's what Mowbray's trying. Play Armstrong and Elliott a bit wider. And yeah, the dynamic duo there, the brilliant Armstrong and the future megastar, possibly Harvey Elliott. We'll see how that pans out. Wednesday, Westwood, Palmer, Lees, Dunkley, Van Aken, Odebajo. Is that back? Is it 5-4-1? Bannon, Patterson, Pelupesi, Reach, and Josh Windass. Any Wednesday fans or anyone who watched the game, help me out with that shape. It does just seem a clean sheet machine, doesn't it, that Pulis is trying to set up there ahead of the January transfer window. Here is a brilliant goal, actually, by Adam Reach. Bit of a mix-up between Douglas and Ayala, but that's such a good finish because he doesn't actually hit it that hard, Reach, and he floats it so accurately. We've seen him score some worldies in the Championship, Reach. And if you're Tony Pulis and you're going to sit behind the ball and you do want to score a few low percentage chances, it does help having Barry Bannon and Adam Reach in your team, doesn't it? So great goal by Reach and a great equaliser as well. And we've been wise to this on the channel for a while. The what should we call it? The Joe Rothwell burst. We saw him do it against Preston to set up a goal, I think, for Tyrese Dolan. We saw him score a brilliant goal at Brentford. He's done it again now. So I'm talking about low blocks. If you've got a centre midfielder who can dribble like that, really potent weapon now. Managers are going to be very much on top of this now. Don't let Joe Rothwell sprint from deep because he's got a real trick up his sleeve there for this type of thing. Now, that's 3 goals we can identify very quickly. So good news that Dak's back. But I'll just flash up the table there. Rovers in 11th. We'll deal with them first. Just the form's not great since that winning streak. We were loving Elliott and Armstrong, and that was all super exciting. And now the imminent return of Dak. But that's 5 points in the last 6 games. You tell me, am I expecting too much out of Blackburn? I just think you're not going to get a chance to have Harvey Elliott in the future. This is probably the only season we'll see him in the Championship because he he does just look elite level for that age, doesn't he? And he'll likely be loaned in the Premier League in the future. Armstrong's banging the goals in. I don't know. Am I expecting too much? You tell me in the comments. But he just can't piece together a sort of viable playoff run at the moment. Although, I suppose in deference to Mowbray, they're 7 points off, aren't they? Wednesday, 4 points in 2. They've got the first win. They've got a draw away against Blackburn. I think you accentuate the positive if you're Wednesday, and if you're a team down the bottom and you're within a win of being out the bottom three. Okay, yes, there are games in hand for Derby and Rotherham, but they're in it, aren't they? And if you add, now we've been doing this a lot through the season, if you add on the 6 point deduction, they are 20th across the season. However, I suspect if you took the record under Pulis, they would be in the bottom 3. So we're giving Pulis some of Monk's points there, aren't we? But I suppose you'd be happy. And let's all see Houghton, Pulis and Allardyce go and sign a load of their old former players in January now and try and bolster their teams. What have we got here? Good to see Bradley Dack back. Absolutely. I agree. Herman Munster. That's appalling, Chris. Is underachieving. Will being a good bloke keep him in his job? No. So yeah, let's see. I don't think Blackburn are underachieving. I think it's somewhat artificially inflated start and teams very much working out how to negate them efficiently. Dack is huge though. Nice bit of skill for Rothwell for his goal. If Barry Bannon played for Blackburn, there'd be a few places higher. And of course, good to see Dack back. I don't understand the technicalities, but won't Brexit make it harder to get European players? Apparently so, yeah. I need to read up on that. Do you think Wednesday will be all right and stay up? Again, animation. And no offence to Wycombe and Rotherham, you just worry that, and this might pull Coventry into it, that Wycombe and Rotherham, this is my theory today, it'll change next week probably, is that Wycombe and Rotherham might finish between 30 and 35 points. And then there might be a right slogfest to get out of that that third place in the bottom. So my missus made me sit through that show with Dak. My missus watched that. Olivia is his wife. She loves her. So, but hey, my missus knows the name of a championship player. So tremendous. Like Barnsley, Blackburn have the potential to finish top 6. Wednesday, on the other hand, is starting to improve. Agreed. I think Blackburn have 2 to 3 excellent championship players. I don't think the rest of the squad is that good. They look like a 12 to 8. Yeah, maybe not enough to finish that much higher. When Trav comes back, that'll be Lewis Travis as well. Owen is asking about a watch along on Tuesday. I think we're doing a super stream on Tuesday. So we'll have the Forest game on if it's on Sky, and we'll do a super stream. I think there's 8 or 9 games all on at 7:45. So we will, we'll no doubt be keeping across that. 2 to go. It's Derby and Preston, and then Forest and Birmingham. So we'll do Derby and Preston first. Look at that. 9 points in 5 games now for erratic Preston, as I always call them. And a very, very late winner in this game. Waghorn's going to get sent off after 20 minutes. Alan Brown's going to score the winner in the 96th or 97th minute of the game. There's your Derby team in good form under Rooney, Rossini and McLaren, whoever you want to give the credit. Marshall in goal. Byrne, Wisdom, Clark, Buchanan. Shinnie, Bielik, Knight. Kazim Richards, Josviak and Waghorn. Waghorn coming back in and straight back out. He'll be suspended for 3 games, I'd imagine, after that one. For Preston, Rudd, Fisher, Huntington, Davis, Earl, Brown, Gallagher, Sinclair, Johnson, Barkhazen, Maguire. And I hope I get the right players here. We have to watch out for Davis, Brown, Johnson, and Pearson, who are all out of contract and as of today haven't signed new deals going into their last transfer window before their contracts run down. Will Trevor Hemmings have to sell one or more of those players in the window just to get a fee? I don't know what your views are on that, guys, in the comments, whether Hemmings does get some credit for running his club fairly well and putting what money in he can in FFP terms. But that's some talent there, all potentially deals expiring. And Risdale said they'd been offered fair deals. So maybe not lucrative deals, but fair deals. Look, I love Martin Waghorn. He was brilliant for Ipswich for one season, but that's a red card, isn't it? I don't think it was... what are the three terms we use? Endangering opponent, which it definitely was. Reckless excessive force. Careless excessive force. I suppose it's careless. It wasn't excessive force, but it was a badly mistimed tackle, and he gets the red card. And Derby hold out until... And again, we've spoken about stacked defences, plenty of Preston players forward in the box. Brown, just a bit of space there coming in. Buchanan's not quite tight there. You can see a runner. Probably the key player there is the runner over Brown's shoulder, allowing him to come inside. Hit it with the left foot into the far corner. Nice finish by Alan Brown. One of the Big Four or Fantastic Four or Avengers Assemble or whatever we're going to call these Preston out-of-contract players. Preston move up to 13th on 29 points. Like I say, 9 points in 5. Just the first half of the season has just been so erratic, hasn't it? And 10 defeats in 21 games. Turn a couple of those into draws, add a win there, and you're viable top half team comfortably, aren't you? But yeah, I think a lot hangs on these out-of-contract players now in January. Derby, well, that's disappointing, isn't it? Because they've been in really nice trend upwards. But I suppose you can argue the mitigating factor of the red card, and they were very close to taking what would have been a really excellent point. So Derby still looking like they're heading in the right direction, probably more so than Forest or Wednesday. It does seem to be more of a solid plan in action working at Derby at the moment. What are you guys saying? Smug says Trevor Hemmings doesn't care about the club, so it's hard for us to go up on the budget for players. It's difficult because Smug, we had this with Marcus Evans at Ipswich, and what it feels like in the Championship now is it doesn't matter if you could be a billionaire in the Championship now, and it doesn't matter because of the 13 million limit and the three clubs getting the 40 million, and then the other ones on year 2 getting the 35 million. So you can make an argument for what Smug is saying there, that he should do more, etc. And then you can also make an argument that he's already doing all he can. And in the absence of, to compete with a parachute team, you need one of two things. You need a lightning in a bottle season, a brilliant manager, like a Chris Wilder or the Huddersfield season under David Wagner and the recruitment under Stuart Webber there, or you need to sell a player and recruit to take on the parachute teams. And yes, they did that under Hugel, didn't they? With Hugel and get the 10 million quid or whatever. But sadly, it takes more than that now, doesn't it? It takes you need to sell 20 million quid's worth of players just to challenge, doesn't it? So let's have a look here. Alistair, the pitch was terrible, subs confusing. We lacked a major cutting edge. However, sometimes you just have to ignore analysis and celebrate some good old S-housery. What a win. Absolutely. As for us now, January is huge. Brown, Pearson, Davis, DJ all yet to sign. Tell me, Preston fans or anyone in the comments, who's most likely to go out of that lot, and who would actually be worth the most out of that lot? Fair from Neil post-match. It's a strange feeling. The boys are ecstatic because we won the game, but the performance comes first. And we didn't play well. Davis to Sheffield United for limited cash and hopefully goes into a Mowat or a Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy? I'm not familiar there. But this January could be written. Oh, that doesn't sound good. What else have we got? Can't believe Preston allowed all of them to run down the contracts. If they don't sign them by now, they won't. And we have to sell them all in January to get big money. Big summer ahead of them. What else have we got here? I wonder if Stoke could go for any of those out-of-contract players. Yeah, they could. You have to look at a Stoke, Cardiff, maybe a Swansea if the owners actually open up some of the parachute money, and then Watford, Norwich, Bournemouth could, take any of them, couldn't they? That's a good point. Robinson, yeah, he was 7.5 million. I guess some of the money has come back in, but yeah, it does feel like it's so hard, isn't it? I'd have to look at the Preston books, and it sounds so dull and boring that we're even having this conversation. The number you have to look at is the total loss already and the difference between that and 13 million. Because this was the problem with Marcus Evans, that the total loss to even stink out the league was already 9 million. And you're kind of like, what's another 4 million going to do? Do you know what I mean? One player into Ipswich under Marcus Evans for 4 million quid wasn't going to take them from 12th or 16th or whatever up to the Premier League. And this is the thing, isn't it? Is one player that I don't know what the books say for Preston, whether it's a 6 million loss or a 2 million loss or whatever, but does the extra spending make the difference? It's so dull to talk about, but that's where we are under this awful system that we have at the moment that disadvantages clubs like Preston, who've got an owner with some money, who do recruit quite well, but just get into this trap. And we know where it ends up ultimately long term if you can't make that challenge, that it's sadly a slow trend as 3 new teams each year come in with the ability to spend way more money than you're allowed to under the rules. Hemmings, I think, realised it's a little too late, accepted cashing in. Bizarre as Brown will re-sign. DJ, we hold some power. Davis going, 0 news on Pearson. Pearson is injured. There is Shaylee downstairs. Hello, my darling. Says, Merry Christmas. Shaylee, David's wife in the chat as well, has also been watching Olivia and Bradley Dack on whatever it was. So we already had the best player out of Preston, Tyrese Dolan on a free. Was that on a free? Yeah, he does look good, Dolan. Doesn't he? Right, one more to talk about. Not sure how much we're going to say, because it was Forest 0, Birmingham 0. Houghton, let me see if I can do this slickly. Houghton, the ex-Birmingham manager, managing current club Forest against ex-club Birmingham, whilst Karanka, the ex-Forest manager, managing current club Birmingham against Houghton's old club Forest, new club Forest against current club whatever. They both used to manage the other team, is what I'm trying to say in not very articulate manner. We expected this one to be a low scorer. Did I predict a draw? I want to say I did, because it seems so blindingly obvious now. But there you go. Here's your Forest team. Samba, Ribeiro, Worrell, Figueiredo, Christie, Sow and Yates, Myton, Cafu, Amiobi were grabbing up top. Birmingham, Etheridge, Colin Roberts, Dean, Friend, Clayton and Sunjic sitting. Sanchez, Halilovic now starting, and Bella and Hogan up top. I've got a couple of screenshots, but I mean, whoop-de-doo. There's Ivan Sanchez cutting in from the right, not managing to squeeze that into the gap to Samba's left. And there is Toby Figueiredo not managing to finish that shot when it runs loose to him in the box on the left foot. Both sides moving gradually forwards, and I suppose Birmingham are above the point per game, which is enough at the moment, as long as the trend continues upwards. Few defeats, I guess only 8 defeats with a load of draws in there. Forest, 5 points from the last 3. That's decent. It's just slow progress, isn't it? And again, I'll reiterate my point that you could get 2 cast adrift and a right old slog for that last position. And big clubs there and historic clubs, QPR, Forest, Derby and Sheffield Wednesday down there. Could a Birmingham get sucked down a bit lower? I don't know. And Coventry, who seem to have a bit of a better pattern of play than all of them, could they get sucked down? Who knows? Luton sliding as well. Interesting there. Hopefully I'm not right about that. But yeah, there you go. Let's have a look at your comments. Can skip this one, last one, Ben. Both managed to tried their best to extinguish any leftover Christmas cheer. Selling my house this week to put the proceeds on 0-0 when Forest play Stoke on Tuesday. Lovely. It was two sides both scared to lose. Halilovic, excuse me, looked classy but forced off at half time. We were better second half, but after conceding 7 in 2 games, take a point, 0-0. Yeah. According to a Wednesday site, Sam Hutchison has terminated his contract in Cyprus and would like to come back to us. I hope not. His discipline is terrible. Yeah, there was some issues there with Mr. Monk and Mr. Hutchison and Mr. Westwood, weren't there? But hey, Mr. Pulis loves a project, doesn't he? There we go, guys. Let's get your comments in quickly. I'll have a little rundown of the table. And you give me your team of the week or your performance of the round. Let me just give you some help with the results. So I normally go for a winning team, unless some teams clawed a drawback under incredibly difficult circumstances. So I'm thinking possibly a Brentford with the comeback victory there. Swansea churning it out there. Reading with all the injuries. Watford, new manager bounce. I mean, let me know what you think. Team of the week. I think I'm between Swansea and Reading, to be honest. I don't know. You tell me. Team of the week in the comments. Do we need to do goal of the week? Should we just give it to Will Volks for scoring a first-timer from inside his own half? Let me know what you think in the comments. Team of the week, goal of the week. And I will summarise the table whilst you smarten me up on those things. Sorry, let me just plug Patreon down the bottom there as well on the ticker. So Norwich stay top despite the defeat of Watford. They're 4 points clear. Well positioned. Swansea move into second. Bournemouth didn't play, are still in third. Not many L's in that top 5, really, at the moment. Only Reading with more than one defeat in the last 5 games. Well, I know you'd expect that, but often we'll see spotless runs from the top teams there. Brentford up into 4th. Watford, new manager, 2 points off automatic. Reading still in 6th with lots of injuries and lots of doubters. Stoke perpetually in 7th. Borough didn't play. Bristol City 9th. Barnsley up to 10th. And then we get these teams in the middle where it could kind of go either way. You're talking Barnsley, Blackburn, Cardiff, Preston, Huddersfield. Could they go for a challenge? Luton trending downwards. Millwall didn't play. So they may occupy a bit of a false position if they can get back and get winning. And then there's our bottom 8. Birmingham, Coventry, QPR, Forest, Rotherham, Derby, Wednesday. And Wickham, what are you guys saying about team of the week and goal of the week? Well, what's Jeffrey saying? Our dishwasher broke on Christmas Day. Unbelievable. Just come back from the shops. Can't get one for love nor money. You can get one off Amazon, Jeffrey. Will they come and deliver you one? Terrible news. And of all days, you need the dishwasher, hey? Reading for the Walking Wounded Award. Team of the week. Brentford, says Chris. Watford. Norwich won't often not score. Yeah, fair. Sergio Canos is the team of the week. Brentford. Swansea, Brentford. Yeah. Watford team of the week. Thought Brentford's goals were poor keeping. Swansea's game easier than Watford. Watford team of the week. We piled pressure on them at times, but they always had the answer. Cancel this out perfectly. Brentford. Shout out to Barnsley. Yeah, we've done the Bristol City injuries. Jeffrey. I think you're a lot of shouts for Brentford there and Watford as the team of the week. And we'll just give Will Volks the goal of the week for scoring from the halfway line. Guys, thank you very, very much for joining me. Apologies. I think my headache is subsiding. My voice is starting to go now. And I need to do Dearly Departed after the West Brom game at some point today. As always, Super Chats, you can support in any live broadcast. Their Patreon, we're doing a lot of extra stuff over on Patreon. YouTube as well. Make sure you hit like. I know you will do the comment thing, but if anyone hasn't subscribed, get us up to 13,600 is where we need to go. Coming up, we will do Dearly Departed later today. Fantasy League is taking a bit of a battering with this schedule at the moment, so we will get back onto that, I promise. It gets to January the 2nd and we get 2 weeks off, for God's sake. So then tomorrow, preview, 1 p.m. Promise I'll be on time. And then I think we're doing Chelsea Villa into the evening. Tuesday, Championship review. So no live watch-alongs, I don't think, on the Monday games. 1 p.m. Oh, no. What am I doing? So, sorry, Dearly Departed preview on Monday. Sorry, Championship preview on Tuesday. Super stream at 7:30. I may as well just tweet all of this. I can't even concentrate on it. Wednesday, though, I think we're going to do a double bill. We got Brentford, Bournemouth and Swansea, Reading, which should both be really, really decent watches. Anyway, keep in touch. Twitter, probably the best place if I can actually get organised. And I've got to build a new desk. We've got a new desk for Christmas for the filming room. So the view might change, but I might have a little bit more room. That is the size of my desk at the moment. So that should help. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Goal of the week and season, Cardiff. There we go. Watford impressive. Take care, everyone. Cup of tea and a lie down. Yeah, we'll try my best. Take care. Oh, a Leeds winning. That's always good news for the Dearly Departed viewing numbers. Have a Bailey's. God, the idea of any alcohol with this headache at the moment. Deary me. I'm sure we'll soldier on through. I'll go and eat something in a minute. But thank you, everybody, for watching. That's the show. Championship review, round 21. Hopefully I don't now collapse, having used all my energy. Thank you for watching, and over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.